Good morning and welcome to worship. My name is Reverend Dr. Mark Chang. Today, we are talking about conflict, interpersonal conflict, broken relationships, hurt feelings, people who just don't get along anymore. Now, I know none of that is ever an issue for any of you because you go to church and all, but I have heard it said that sometimes, even within a church, there can be conflict. It's hard to believe. But not all Christians get along with all Christians. So what do we do when we disagree? How do we resolve issues? Today we'll hear what advice Jesus gave. But before we move forward, just a quick note about the psalm that you're going to read later. Psalm 139, it has 9 verses, 5 of which are wonderful. But it takes a dark turn at verse 6. It says, "Let the praise of God be in their throat and a two-edged sword in their hand." And it goes to wreak vengeance on their enemies. Eesh. I want to remind you of what we had said in the summer when we talked about violence in the Psalms. First, we read scripture compassionately, charitably, seeking to understand the motivations of the writer. Why would they call for kings and nobles to be put in chains? Why ask God to inflict on them the judgment decreed? Probably, I'd imagine, because those kings and nobles were corrupt and greedy rulers, exploiting their people. This psalm is a call for justice, one I think we could relate to. But because we're also reading this text as Christians, we know that justice comes through Christ, that vengeance belongs to God alone. So you can put down your pitchforks and two-edged swords. Before you do something that you read in a psalm, you gotta think first of what Jesus would have you do. I pray that this worship service today is going to help us grind a few swords into plowshares. So let's worship God.